You see the eye contact there, right? It's very penetrating. I want to fuck you.
Sorry, I'm engaged.
Like a very seductive look she's got on her face here.
You know, if you're a cheater, you're a cheater. No matter how good your husband or wife, you will cheat anyway.
We leave in 1 hour.
And it's such a ridiculous proposal. We leave in 1 hour. Christina is just like...
I don't think it's realistic.
You try this at a bar, like, could you just give me a smile? Like, that could be really fucking
I'll say
creepy.
fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, I'll say this guy. Get out of here.
Welcome to the Inner Confidence Podcast, where we bring you men's dating and lifestyle advice that doesn't suck. I'm your host, Robbie Kramer, a former collegiate golfer turned poker pro turned finance guy who became obsessed with learning about male-female attraction and dynamics and passionate about teaching men how to improve and optimize their love life. Tune in each week and we'll bring you the latest and greatest strategies on how to get more dates, how to build a thriving social circle that brings the best men and women into your life, how to become a better networker, and how to design a lifestyle that makes all your buddies jealous. If you're new to the show, I recommend you download my first date protocol. It's the best piece of content I have. It'll help you optimize your first date and subsequent dates. And I like to connect with my listeners personally. So if you want to grab a copy of that, please send me a direct message on Instagram. I'm at Robbie_Kramer. Now let's dive into this week's content. Hey guys, welcome back to the Inner Confidence Podcast. We're here with my lovely wife, Maria.
Hi.
And today we've got a pretty cool episode because we're doing something different than usual. And what we're doing is showing some movie clips, and we're going to break down how attraction, seduction, how those concepts play out in Hollywood. I think Hollywood does a great job of depicting these things. They have to, otherwise no one would watch the movies if they weren't realistic. And I chose 3 different scenes, probably from movies that you may have seen before, to demonstrate sexual tension, seduction, attraction, like I mentioned. And if you're watching this, great. If you're listening to this as a podcast, my recommendation would be to go over to the site, innerconfidence.com/podcast, and watch it, or on YouTube. If you're listening, I think you'll still get something out of it, but, you know, buyer beware, I guess. Fair warning. Whatever that expression is. So let's kick it off. The first movie, and you've never seen any of these movies, I'm pretty sure.
Are they old?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, not that old, like within the last 20 years. So
I'm 24.
Yeah, well, since you've been alive. And it'll be interesting to get your take on it, given the fact that you're European, to make sure that these concepts cross cultural barriers and they apply, right? So what we'll do is we'll run each clip in its entirety. The longest one is, 2 or 3 minutes. And then we'll go through them scene by scene and break down what we find.
Okay.
And the first one we'll do is the Aviator scene called Cigarette Girl. Here we go.
Cigarette, Sensen.
Thelma, I thought you were over at the Brown Derby with Trixie. No, Teresa.
Margaret, yeah.
Margaret, exactly. What happened to Margaret? She lost her shoes.
Thank God that's settled.
I'm sorry. Thelma, this is Howard Hughes. Howard and I were just discussing how he wants me to pull a camera out of my ass.
Cigarette?
Oh, no, thanks. I don't smoke. Boy, you are just hitting on all 6 cylinders, aren't you? My God. Would you do me a favor? Would you just smile for me one time? Just once. Yeah, you see, you got a short upper lip. Makes for a much nicer smile. See, I wonder what gives a beautiful woman like you pleasure. And say you're just standing there, right? And I just touch you just like this. See my fingertips. I mean, do you like that? Do you? See, I want to learn what pleases you. I want to learn everything about you. Would you let me do that? Would you give me that job?
I'm off in a half an hour.
Well, I'm in room
217.
217. See you there. Johnny, get on the horn to Universal and warn.
What'd you think? How hot is Leo?
He is, but this would never work with me.
That would work.
Ever.
I guess that's the first question: is how realistic do you think that scene is?
It just like I know different types of girls, and I'm the type that I hate when strangers touch me. Like really, it's like pissing me off. If someone will come who I don't know and say like hi and grab me, oh my god, I will be so pissed. Like I hate it.
Well,
And-
hold on. You have to. There's a little bit of backstory or context that I think is important. So the friend of Howard Hughes' character,
Mhm.
Leo, right? Or he knows the cigarette girl. They've obviously from that club, and he has a lot of status. He's like a huge movie director,
Doesn't matter.
and she maybe she doesn't. I don't think she's ever met him before. Maybe she's heard of him though. So
No, it doesn't matter. It's a stranger.
it's a stranger, but
Yeah.
what if you have heard about this person before?
No,
Does that change anything?
no.
Okay.
But it's me, and I know a lot of girls that don't care. It's just like I have
Well,
this
he didn't
security.
touch her immediately.
No, but I have security problems. I don't want anyone who I don't know touch
All right.
me.
Well, that's a kind of a personal thing, but let's go back and watch it to kind of.
I'm a bad person.
Okay,
for
so you
this.
didn't like the fact that he touched her.
Oh,
That
I
wouldn't
hate,
work on you.
I
But what
hate-
about the other stuff?
I mean, it was super sexual, and if you're looking for someone to to hook up, then he's a perfect choice, especially if she was attracted to him. First you look for the look. Obviously, if you see the guy and you're attracted to him, like if he's cool and blah blah blah, you will have sex with him eventually, right? That's I think it's important. She was attracted to him already, and her work kind of, she's
So I guess-
open for touch. She works in this how to say
She works in a club.
in the club, right? So she like a lot of people are touching her, and she used to it. That's why it wasn't
I'm
something.
not touching her like that.
No, I mean it's like she's more open-minded for something like this. I think
Maybe.
I would never be open-minded for this.
All right, so let's watch again, and we'll go through. So you were not a fan, to say the least.
Like no.
What I liked about that scene is, I mean, he went balls to the wall to create sexual tension there,
Mhm.
right? Took a big risk. As I mentioned, he has status, and
Mhm.
in his mind, she's just like a cocktail waitress, but she's beautiful. So
She is.
he was very forward. He held amazing eye contact. He spoke very slow, very seductive. He did not release sexual tension at all, even though his friend did, and
Mhm.
we'll go through that.
Mhm.
So let me share the screen again. So here we go.
Cigar, cigarette, sensen.
Thelma, I thought you were over at the Brown Derby with Trixie.
So you hear, he's basically making small talk,
Mhm.
right? And his voice, he's kind of ending his sentences with an upward inflection, like
Mhm.
"oh, with Trixie," like that's not as attractive as finishing on a downward inflection.
Oh, Teresa.
Margaret, yeah.
Margaret, exactly. What happened to Margaret? She lost her shoes.
Thank
that
God
night?
that's settled.
So he interrupts and shows a lot of dominance here. Thank God that's settled, right?
Mhm.
Just like totally steamrolls this guy,
Mhm.
right? And that creates a very strong first impression, because now she's like, "Oh, what's going on? Who's this?"
I'm sorry. Thelma, this is Howard Hughes.
And essentially, he's kind of saying like, "Yo, introduce me." What the fuck? Why didn't you do that? That's a socially acceptable thing to do. Like,
Mhm.
rather than rambling on and trying to make small talk with the hot, cocktail waitress, introduce your boy.
Mhm.
Howard and I were just discussing how he wants me to pull a camera out of my ass.
So, he makes a little joke there. I think that's funny.
Mhm.
So now this part's interesting. Like, watch his body language here.
Cigarette?
Oh no, thanks. I don't smoke. Boy, you are just hitting on all 6 cylinders, aren't you?
So I feel like this part may not be super realistic, because she might, I feel like she could very easily just, after he goes, "Oh no, I don't smoke," she could just be like, "All right, have a good one.
Bye."
See you."
Uh-huh.
Right?
Well, we just stand there. She's working.
But he was introduced, so there's a little bit of rapport there between her and the other guy, right? So now he kind of goes into the direct sort of sexual tension building.
My God. Would you do me a favor? Would you just smile for me one time? Just once.
Now this is pretty clever, right? He tells her, "Will you just smile for me?" Um, because when you ask somebody, well, I mean, it's kind of cringy, but it's also kind of clever. Like you try this in a bar, like, "Can you just give me a smile?" Like that could be really fucking
I'll say
creepy.
fuck off.
Yeah, it could be super creepy. But if she actually does smile, right? Like they've done studies that if you're in a bad mood and you just stare in the mirror and you start smiling, you'll usually feel better. So, this is going to put her into a better emotional state. Like, even if she's having not the best night, like now she's smiling and she's complying with his directions.
Yeah. You see, you got a short upper lip. Makes for a much nicer smile.
And now you see here him releasing the tension, right? He's laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the eye contact there, right? It's very penetrating.
See, I wonder what gives a beautiful woman like you pleasure.
Now he kind of gets curious.
And say you're just standing there, right? And I just touch you, just like this.
And the way he says, I just touched you, right? He's like going very slow. He's getting permission to do it. He's not just grabbing her, right?
See my fingertips.
He's probably going very slow, like this.
Do you?
He's getting turned on, obviously. He's maintaining eye contact.
See, I want to learn.
And now he's shifting his voice tonality to a lot more seductive.
Learn everything about you. Would you let me do that? Would you give me that job?
This is kind of interesting. Notice he didn't say, "I want to fuck you." Or I want to, he's being very sexual, but his words are saying, "I want to learn everything about you. I want to get to know you," in a sense, clearly on a sexual level, but also on a, emotional level, spiritual level.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? So he's not kind of over the top about that. You can see that she's kind of flabbergasted.
I'm off in a half an hour.
Well, I'm in room
217.
217. See you there.
And then again, you see the friend releasing tension and laughing. So any other thoughts after seeing it a second time?
I think it's old school and wouldn't work right now. Like it's, for the first meeting, it's too sexual, especially in America. Like all this feminism and girls don't want the guy even open the door for them or buy them flowers or call an Uber. It like something like this won't work out unless she's drunk in the club. She doesn't care. She will sleep with the first guy, But if she's not drunk, and she will not let it happen.
Yeah, I don't know if this exact scenario would play out, but his ability to handle and create sexual tension was pretty good.
No,
right?
I agree.
He never cracked. I mean, that's why he's Leonardo DiCaprio, right? Like, you actually have to be that guy to play that part.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
but I think it's more like not realistic than realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, I think it will work. But unless you are
Well, if you have status
like
and you
really
have
high status,
really high status, which he is in the scene, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like she's a total random. She's a friend, or at least an acquaintance of his underling, right? So he has status over the guy who she knows, which puts him at an even higher status. And he takes that risk, but it's yeah. All right, so that was scene one. We can always be more like Leo, right? Like I think emulating Leonardo DiCaprio's mannerisms and his suave sort of characteristics, personality is it's never gonna hurt you, right? Not like I'm not really anything like Leo. Like our personalities, like I don't think I can really pull something like that off very easily. I'm more of like the funny, goofy, but I'll laugh a girl's, into bed. But
oh my god,
just like I laughed you into the sack, right, baby?
Oh my god.
So let's go to the next one. Match Point. This is a Woody Allen movie, and this is an aggressive game scene.
We have one not aggressive.
Here we go.
So, who's my next victim? You?
I haven't played table tennis in quite a while.
Would you like to play for £1,000 a game?
What did I walk into?
What did I walk into?
It's like this. May I?
Please.
You have to lean in and hit through the ball.
I was doing just fine until you showed up.
Ah, story of my life. So tell me, what's a beautiful young American ping pong player doing mingling amongst the British upper class?
Did anyone ever tell you you play a very aggressive game?
Did anyone ever tell you you have very sensual lips?
Extremely aggressive.
I'm naturally competitive. Is it off-putting?
I'll have to think about that for a while.
Ah, there you are. I wanted to introduce you to Chris Wilton. Chris Wilton, this is Nola Rice, my fiancée.
Aha. So you're the tennis pro.
Oh, darn.
My pleasure.
He was trying to have his way with me over the table.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, you better watch out for this one. He's made a living out of hustling.
I'll be ready for you next time. I'll see you outside.
Oh, yeah. She's quite something, isn't she?
What do you think of that one?
I don't know. I would never react like this. I'm so bad. I'm a married woman. You know, like
Well, I mean, put yourself into
no, but
your
like
shoes before you were married.
she's a fiancée, and like the guy gets so close to her, I would say sorry, I'm engaged. You know, like for me, just like
Well, spoiler alert, they end up having sex, like in a field, I think.
oh my god, it's so bad. Like it was obvious that they have a sexual tension from the beginning. So when he came, he knew that he can, get so close to her because, he saw that she's really attracted to him. And I think it's not good if you're engaged.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they met each other before. I don't remember the movie, but that was obviously their first meeting. Maybe they had seen each other, which would change things, obviously. Like if they had eye contact, at the party previous to the ping pong game.
Hmm.
But I don't know. But there's some interesting things to break down. Did you think that was more or less realistic than the cigarette girl scene from the Aviator?
I think it was more realistic because they were in the house, there was no one around, and they were just like super flirty. It's like normal when you play something, some games, the guy will come behind you, play pool, and he will like, oh, you need to do this. He'll
Mhm.
kind of show you, and he still like show you the games. That's so it's not kind of super obvious that he's hitting on you
Right.
because he's like showing you the game. And I think it was more realistic, and she was super open. The way how she spoke was like so slow, and
Mhm.
like with this voice, she was super open to him. That's why it was weird that she was engaged.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
she's
like, it was so bad.
she's not a very faithful wife
I
or
know,
fiance.
I know, it's
So
bad.
let's watch that again, kind of through some stopping points here. So he's waiting to play.
Mhm.
Who's my next victim? You?
And right away, she's kind of giving him, a seductive, but, I guess a little bit of a tense look,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
right? It's like a very seductive look she's got on her face here.
Mhm.
I haven't played table tennis in quite a while.
Would you like to play for £1,000 a game?
What did I walk into?
So do you see how he kind of comes in very modestly, right? Unassuming. Like, she asks him if he wants to play for £1,000, and rather than answering yes or no, which would kind of fail the test, because that now he's like answering the question and submitting to her frame, he just says, "What did I walk into?" Right? She's very confident at this point, and he's modest because he knows he's a tennis pro, so he knows he's going to smoke her. The douchebag thing would have been like, yeah, let's play for £1,000, right? And then that would cause her to kind of lose her presence after he beat her, because now she's like, fuck, do I have to pay this guy or not?
Yeah.
Right?
What did I walk into?
That was interesting. There's a long pause there, right? He smashes it and
He's not saying anything.
not saying anything, and she's just kind of like,
Oh.
she's a little flustered.
She's like, oh, he's good.
Yeah, she gives a little smile there. And then she has what I walked into.
It's like this.
And then you see how he slowly moves around the table. It's like this, and he's like gliding around the table,
May I?
Please.
And he asks for permission. He says, "May I?" Right? And then he takes her in a very sort of sexual hand around the waist. But he's showing her.
He's showing the moves. That's why here it's really realistic. If you like invite girl on a date, right, to play pool or something, and she doesn't know, it's the perfect, to have this like first touch.
Right.
You just will go behind her and will show her, and you will build some tension because you're touching each other.
Yeah.
It's like super realistic.
Totally. It's an excuse.
You need just to ask her before the date if she's engaged or not. Really important.
You have to lean in.
So he pulls her in
Through the ball.
and you see how he's whispering, and he's also getting very close. Their faces are like this,
Until you show
and really strong eye
Story of
contact.
my life. So tell me, what's a beautiful young American ping pong player doing mingling amongst the British upper class?
So he asks, a question that he's curious about, but he also weaves in a compliment, and he can tell she's already attracted to him. So the compliment works, right? Also, I think in the Aviator, he knows he has status, so the compliment works. If you're coming from a place of lower status and you try to compliment a woman, you're just going to look even lower status, right? And then this part I feel like is pretty stupid Hollywood. It's like all of a sudden she's just got the cigarette. It's like right there. Like you
I mean, before they would smoke inside the house.
No, but it's just like she pulls out the cigarette so fast.
No, but she's nervous. She's engaged, and
That's a
she's
good
like,
point.
"Oh my God, what's happening?" I have the sexual,
Yeah.
like,
I didn't think about that. Sexual tension. Yeah.
sexual tension, and I'm engaged, and my fiance here in this house. That's why she's like, I will better smoke a cigarette.
I need something to. Yeah. No, that's a good call.
Did anyone ever tell you you play a very aggressive game?
This is another. You could call it a little test, right? She's calling him out. Play a very aggressive game. How are you going to respond to that?
Did anyone ever tell you you have very sensual lips?
So again, instead of answering her question or even acknowledging it, he just kind of flips it. Did anyone ever tell you, right? You have very sensual lips, and creates more tension.
He flips it from him on her all the time.
Exactly.
You play a very aggressive game.
Right? And now she's just kind of responding, calling it out.
I'm naturally competitive. Is it off-putting?
Now this part's interesting. He goes, is it off-putting? But he's not actually, I feel like he doesn't really care about her answer. He's not apologizing. He's going to do it anyways.
I'll have to think about that for a while.
She takes her time.
Ah, there you are. I wanted to introduce you to Chris Wilton. Chris Wilton, this is Nola Rice, my fiancée.
Ah, so you're the tennis pro.
Notice he doesn't take her eyes off her pretty much ever, right? He is not worried about the fiancé.
Well done.
My pleasure.
He was trying to have his way with me over the table.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, you better watch out for this one. He's made a living out of hustling.
I'll be ready for you next time. I'll see you outside.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's not shy at all about checking her out. He watches her leave. All right. So what do you think of that one overall?
Overall, I think that her fiance looks better.
Okay.
And I would never look on other guys. But, you know, if you're a cheater, you're a cheater. No matter how good your husband or wife, you will cheat anyway.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
All right. So next clip.
But I think that this one is really realistic. It can happen. And I think for guys, if they want to use it, the main thing that he was doing, he would always flip. He would never answer, and he would always ask the question.
He would, yeah, exactly. He would sort of like steal the frame.
Yeah,
you could say.
And it was like so dominant.
Right.
He would dominate on her.
Dominate her. Right.
Dominate her. Yeah. That was really nice, and like build the sexual tension even more and more.
Right. Now this one is probably my favorite, and this is from Vicky Cristina Barcelona. You've seen this, right? No? Another great movie with Javier Bardem as the leading man. Another Scarlett Johansson is also in this scene. Here we go.
American?
I'm Christina, and this is my friend Vicky.
What color are your eyes?
They're blue.
I'd like to invite you both to come with me to Oviedo.
To come where?
To Oviedo. For the weekend. We leave in 1 hour.
What? Where is Oviedo?
A very short flight.
By plane?
What's in Oviedo?
I go to see a sculpture that is very inspiring to me. Very beautiful sculpture. You'll love it.
Oh, right. You're asking us to fly to Oviedo and back.
No, we'll spend the weekend. I mean, I'll show you around the city and we'll eat well, we'll drink good wine, we'll make love.
Yeah, who exactly is going to make love?
Hopefully the three of us.
Oh my God.
I'll get your bill.
Jesus, this guy, he doesn't beat around the bush. Look, senor, maybe in a different life.
Why not? Life is short, life is dull, life is full of pain, and this is a chance for something special.
Right, well, who exactly are you?
I am Juan Antonio, and you are Vicky, and you are Cristina, right? Or is it the other way around?
Yeah, but, you know,
right.
it could be the other way around because, frankly, it doesn't matter because either of us will do to keep the bed warm. You know, I get it.
Well, you're both so lovely and beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, but we do not fly off to make love with whoever invites us to charming little Spanish towns.
Does she always analyze every inspiration until each grain of charm is, ¿cómo se dice, squeezed out of it?
I guess I have to say that my eyes are green, actually.
Oh, God. Look, I wouldn't call our reluctance to leap at your sexual offer being over-analytical. If you would care to join us for some recognized form of social interaction like a drink, then we'd be fine. But otherwise, I think you should try, you know, offering to some other table.
What offended you about the offer? Surely not that I find you both beautiful and desirable.
Offended me? No. It's very amusing, galling, to be honest. But, is it my imagination or is it getting a little late? Should we go?
I would love to go to Oviedo.
What? Are you kidding? Can we
I think
discuss
it would be
this?
so much fun. I think we should go. I would love to go.
Christina, can we discuss this some other time when...
You know, when I saw you across the room at the art gallery, I noticed you have beautiful lips. Very full, very sensual.
Thank you.
Okay, look, you know, if you want to go...
Well, I can't guarantee the love making because I happen to be very moody.
Let's not negotiate like a contract. I came over here with no subterfuge and presented my best offer. Now I hope you will discuss it and give me the pleasure to take you with me to Oviedo. I have the good fortune to borrow my friend's plane. It's just big enough for the three of us, and I'm a very good pilot.
Oh, it sounds very safe.
Think it over.
Isn't it funny that he also say about the central lips like in the last video?
Yeah, he did, go with that sort of direct compliment.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot going on in that scene.
I'm definitely Vicky.
You're
I would
definitely
be the
Vicky.
girl. No, sorry, we don't like your offer. You can go.
You can fuck off. Bye-bye.
It's me, and it's usually the girls. It's always one girl like, sorry, no, and another like, well, we will think about this. We like actually.
Right.
It's funny.
Mhm.
I'm Vicky.
You're definitely the Vicky
Mhm.
of that duo.
Yeah,
I'm definitely the Christina.
I know. I know you would definitely.
That's
be
why we make a good couple.
Christina. You would be like, we're going.
Yeah, let's go. It sounds like an adventure.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Realistic?
I mean, depends where they are. If they're in some resort, like somewhere in Italy in some resort, and also, and it can happen. The guy is just like want to fly on his, I don't know, his jet, and he found some girls and just wanted to propose.
Yeah. Let me get him out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. You're bad. Come on. This is the jerk that's been making all that noise. This guy. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Let's go back. You thought it was realistic?
In like some specific scenario, yes. But if it would be randomly in LA, me and my friend sitting and having a dinner and some guy randomly comes, I would say fuck off immediately. But if it's something like a resort, Mexico or like Spain, and like people just having fun, they came for vacation and for some adventures, then I think
The backstory before this scene is the girls had both heard about Javier's character, that he was like a wife beater.
Wife beater?
Yeah, he beats his wife.
Oh my god.
But he's also an artist.
Yeah. Okay, then it's
Actually,
it's
I can't
fine.
remember if they had heard that he's a wife beater or that he just had a very like aggressive relationship. But there was something. Pretty sure Vicky was like trash talking him before that, because I think right before the scene they're like, oh my god, they were like talking about him because he's over in the restaurant, and then he makes eye contact, and then Vicky's like, shit, he's walking over here, right? So let's watch again.
I would never then agree. I would say to him, fuck off immediately.
Well, she tried.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I would
here
do.
we go. So he's walking very slowly, right? Maintaining eye contact with both of them. Looks at one for a long time, and then he switches his gaze to the other girl.
American?
I'm Christina, and this is my friend Vicky.
American, just asks
What color are your eyes?
one simple question.
They're blue.
And he also directs his attention at the one who's being a lot more receptive, which is Christina, knowing that he's going to get a lot more love from her.
I'd like to invite you both to come with me to Oviedo.
To come where?
To Oviedo.
So he does. He just, what color are your eyes? And then he goes with the invitation.
For the weekend, we leave in 1 hour.
And it's such a ridiculous proposal. We leave in 1 hour, right? Which is what you need to do, because it's like, if it's not over the top, then it's probably not going to be as interesting to them.
Where is Oviedo?
A very short flight.
By plane?
So I think the fact that it's by plane makes it a more compelling offer, right? Because it's like, well, like this is so crazy that we should just do it.
Or we can end up being killed also.
Okay, Vicky.
What's in Oviedo?
I go to see a sculpture that is very inspiring to me. Very beautiful sculpture. You'll love it.
Oh, right. You're asking us to fly to Oviedo and back.
No, we'll spend the weekend. I mean, I'll show you around the city and
This part's great, right? Because if he didn't say that, if he was just like, well, drink wine, eat, see the sculpture, um, he could end up just being like a tour guide. It could be a very bad spot. He could get friend zoned here or wasting his time. So he goes with the much more direct approach, knowing that if they end up going, it's basically
They know what they're going for.
exactly. There's no subterfuge, as he says later.
With wine, we'll make love.
Yeah, who exactly is going to make love?
Hopefully, the three of us.
I love this response. Hopefully, the three of us, obviously.
Oh my God.
I'll get your bill.
Jesus, this guy.
So she says maybe in a different life, and he's going to say life is short, life is full of pain, right?
Maybe in a different life.
Why not? Life is short, life is dull, life is full of pain, and this is a chance for something special.
Right. Well, who exactly are you?
I am Juan Antonio.
So notice she's just shit testing him galore, right? And he remains very calm, very cool, doesn't ever change his presence or his excitement level.
And you are Vicky, and you are Christina, right? Or is it the other way around?
Yeah, but it could be the other way around because frankly it doesn't matter because either of us will do to keep the bed warm. I get it.
Well, you're both so lovely and beautiful.
That's a great response, right? You're both so lovely, and beautiful. I mean, yeah, of course. He's so there's an improv technique which is called yes and, right? So if a girl's giving you a test and you say no and you start arguing no but, you're usually going to fail. But if you yes and the test, you're usually going to pass and remain non-reactive. Yeah, you're both so lovely. Why wouldn't we all make love?
Yeah, thank you, but we do not fly off to make love with whoever invites us to charming little Spanish towns.
And you see the whole time, Christina is just like, looking at him.
Go.
She wants to go so bad. So he's going to now avert his attention to her because he's getting, the positive vibes.
Does she always analyze every inspiration until each grain of charm is, squeezed out of it?
I also think that he knows he can push a little here because he's getting so much love from Christina. He knows he can push on Vicky and kind of create it's us two against her sort of dynamic.
I guess I have to say that my eyes are green, actually.
Oh God! Look, I wouldn't call our reluctance to leap at your sexual offer being over-analytical. If you would care to join us for some recognized form of social interaction like a drink, then we'd be fine. But otherwise, I think you should try, offering to some other table.
What offended you about the offer?
So this part's interesting because she's basically, she's upset. She's offended.
Of course.
Right?
She's like, I'm not a hooker.
And he responds to that emotion, right? He doesn't go into her logic and say, oh, well, why wouldn't I? Right? Before he kind of responded logically, but this time he's diving straight into the emotional thread, which you need to be aware of because that's the only thing that matters, right? And he calls it out, like, what offended you about the offer?
Surely not that I find you both beautiful and desirable.
Offended me? No, it's very amusing, galling, to be honest. But
and now she's lying. She's obviously offended.
Of course, yeah.
Is it my imagination or is it getting a little late?
I
Should we
would
go?
love to go to Aviator.
And now she's upset and she's just trying to totally leave. But he's got so much buy-in from Christina that he knows he's good.
What? Are you kidding? Can we
I think
discuss
it would be
this?
so much fun. I think we should go. I would love to go.
Christina, can we discuss this some other time when...
When I saw you across the room at the art gallery, I noticed you have beautiful lips. Very full, very sensual.
I feel like that statement actually doesn't help him at all. It's just extra...
Because
she already said yes.
Yeah.
feel like that's a mistake, to keep pushing and going with he's not really pushing, but like he's showering with more compliments when he's already got her, right?
Thank you.
Okay, look, if you want to
Well,
go.
I can't guarantee the love making because I happen to be very moody.
And that's why she kind of pushes back with, I can't guarantee the lovemaking, right?
Let's not negotiate like a contract. I came over here with no subterfuge and presented my best offer. Now I hope you will discuss it and give me the pleasure to take you with me to Oviedo. I have the good fortune to borrow my friend's plane. It's just big enough for the three of us, and I'm a very good pilot.
Oh, it sounds very safe.
Think it over.
It's conveniently just big enough for the three of us, so you can't bring anybody in. Yeah. I think that one's the best.
No, I like the second one.
You like the second one? I just like that one, I guess, because it's like a threesome pitch and it's just so ridiculous. Like you don't see that in movies very often. And it was realistic enough to where it's a good movie, obviously. He ends up, of course, sleeping with both women. First he sleeps with Christina, obviously, and then later Vicky.
No, I don't think it's realistic.
No?
I mean, I would think it would be realistic if they would go and he would sleep with Christina, but Vicky wouldn't sleep with him.
That's what happened.
Because you say he ended up sleeping with both of them.
Later on, he slept with Vicky, but not on the trip. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then Vicky wouldn't sleep with him on the trip.
Right.
But you know what? Actually, it's what I noticed in between three of them, that every single guy was like so calm.
Yep.
And he was not like speaking fast. He was like really slow, and his voice was like really calm and charming. That was in three of them.
Yep.
That was really nice. You need to be so confident to speak like that.
Yeah.
To not be like a douchebag.
You have to be very present.
Like really
you have to
present.
be able to. You have to be really listening.
And
to
you
what
need to
they're
have
saying.
and to speak like that, you need to have an eye contact, because it's like creates this connection that was good in between three of them.
What else did you notice about all three?
I mean, all of them were really confident. In like, even Vicky was like shit testing him so much. He didn't change. Nothing about him didn't change. Right?
Challenging him.
Like
shit test is another way to say challenge.
Challenge.
It's
yeah.
kind of like a lingo in the seduction community, but she was being very challenging, and he never like fell into her frame, as you could say. Right, all of the women except for the first one in the cigarette, like she didn't really challenge him, but the other two certainly did.
And they didn't change their strategy.
He remained cool, calm, collective, responded sometimes with logic, and when needed, responded with emotion. And that's a very important point, right? Because if a woman's saying something, but her emotions are saying something else, if you respond to the words, then you're screwed. You got to respond to the emotion, right? And sometimes the words match the emotion, sometimes they don't. Often they don't, right? It's like a girl saying, like, "There's no way I'm having sex with you later," right? Which is obviously probably having sex later, right? So you gotta, you know, guys are always like, "But she said this," and it's like, well, cool, she said it, but that's not actually what she meant by what she said. So similarities were slow moving, but also moving with a purpose, right? Like none of them were fidgeting or frantic or releasing tension with their body. They were all very calm, very cool, very collected, slow moving, but also like dominant and confident. I mean, all these things kind of make up confidence. Really strong eye contact. All of them, not afraid to be direct, right? They didn't, I mean, Howard in the first one started semi-direct, but actually he didn't, because he stopped it first with like, glad that's settled, right? And kind of interrupted. So they all created a lot of sexual tension before the direct sort of opening line.
I would say that if I would try to copy one of them, it would be the second one.
Okay.
Because I really like his thing that he would never answer her question, and he would ask his own. You know, it was so dominant.
Yeah.
And Like I think I would really like it, because to other guys I would not, like I would be immediately turned off and say fuck off.
Right.
With that guy, it would actually build the sexual tension between me and the guy.
Yeah, and obviously all three guys had, they were fundamentally very attractive guys of status, well dressed, in good shape, had an air of wealth to them, of course.
Yeah,
and they also had the game to back it up.
Yeah, and the status also. If the girls knew about the status, it's also opened them.
Yeah, so there's a lot to take away there. I really learned a lot from watching movies through this lens of like, what is the leading man doing that makes him attractive? And I also watch a lot of movies where the leading man was like a joke, right? And what makes that guy not attractive?
We need to do next episode with the guys who were
unattractive guys, yeah, like George from Seinfeld, or
oh my God.
Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? He's an interesting one because sometimes he is and sometimes he isn't. But these are obviously extreme examples of very forward, very sexual situations, a lot of sexual tension, and yeah. So hopefully you guys took some value from that. And if you have any recommendations for other movies you'd like to see us break down, please put those in the comments. Or if there's any other questions, or you disagree with what we're saying, leave a comment as well. Tell us we're idiots. I'm sure people aren't afraid to do that, especially on YouTube.
No problems with that.
All right, guys. Thank you, my dear. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're new to the show and digging our content, please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you listen or watch. But if you're not really digging it, go ahead, just don't leave us any review at all, and that'd be great. If you're feeling a little bit stuck, or you just want to optimize and step up your game, we've opened up a few spots in our Inner Confidence community. We're accepting applications if you want to join our select group of men and experience the radical power of accountability, cross everything off your sexual bucket list, and just become a beast who gets more stuff done. To learn more and apply, go to start.innerconfidence.com.